Okay, we're looking at, and I'm asking you, do you understand Satan's war against God? That's kind of the theme of the scriptures. From the beginning, Satan has snuck in and ruined the human race, he thinks. And it's all part of God's plan to come himself and rescue them and redeem them. So, where we are in the scriptures, we're right here in this third section of the book of Revelation. It's kind of right in the center of the tribulation where God's explaining stuff. And what he explains is that once he has redeemed his church and taken them out of the world, he returns to work with his chosen people of promise. That's who the Jews are. That's who they've always been. God says, if you read in Deuteronomy, he said, I didn't pick you because you were the mightiest or the smartest or the richest or the greatest. I picked you because simply I loved you. So God picked Israel out of all the nations on the earth, and he put them on what we call the hinge of the continents. Israel is right in the land bridge connection between Europe, Asia, and Africa. And he put them there so that when all of the caravans and trade routes went north and south and east and west, they would come through and hear about this God that was the creator. Well, to remember where we are, yesterday we ended with this fascination humanity has with demonism, and we saw what happens when God lets them out briefly. He lets the demons out to terrorize, not to immediately kill, but to terrorize the people on earth. And then we're in the middle of this section. Lost humanity seeks to rule themselves. In fact, it's the American dream. The American dream is to be self-sufficient. God says, you can't be self-sufficient. Only I am self-sufficient. But the American dream is to make as much money as you can so no one tells you what to do. And God's desire is the very center request of the 7 in the Lord's Prayer, and that is, give me or give us this day our daily bread. God wants to keep us needing him every day. America wants us to not need him anymore. We're going to make our, Bloomberg's used to say you needed $1 million to retire. Now Bloomberg says $3 million is what you need, but if you want to be comfortable, you need $5 million. And you know what it says? 95% of all Americans will never have $5 million, so they really never retire. You bump into them at Walmart, right? They're old and they're handing you a basket. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's wonderful. But why is our world all wanting to be self-sufficient? Because we were born with this sinful heart that wants to rule ourselves. We are rebels at heart. No one had to teach me to be selfish. As soon as I got old enough to stand up and see the table, I wanted the biggest cookie. I wanted the cake, no matter whose birthday it was. Do you understand what I mean? And I cried when everybody else got presents. And so you know what parents do. They give you a present too, so you don't ruin the other birthday parties. But we want to rule ourselves and be kind of our little God. But humanity rejects God's Messiah. God actually walked on earth, God the Son. And he did what no one else ever did. He fed thousands at a time. He could heal blinded eyes. He could give back sight to people, hearing to people. He gave back to the lepers their lost appendages. You know what I mean. He raised people from the dead. He walked on the water. We know everything he did. He liberated them from demons. And what did humanity do with God's Messiah? Rejected him. But look at this. So God sends a fake Jesus. Satan has been trying to be the Messiah and has always had his fake Jesus in the wings. Now, in Paul's day and John's day, it was Nero. Nero was the beginning of these Roman emperors that were against Christianity and wanted to be worshipped. And then Domitian was a big one, and they keep going through. And then after that, in ancient times, Genghis Khan was one. He tried to conquer the whole world. You remember the Mongol hordes came all the way to Vienna in Europe. And then, in more modern times, we've had all of the modern conquerors that have come through. Adolf Hitler is one. He was really Satan's choice. He hated the Jewish people. He had a form of Christianity, Lutheranism, that he converted into him being the one they worshiped and they all, raised their hand to. So God sends the fake Jesus. He's called the beast, which we most of all know as the Antichrist. By the way, this person has 33 titles in the Bible. The man of sin, the one with the fierce face. I mean, you read about all this in the Old Testament as the prophets are describing this final world ruler. He's what I call the worst human who ever lives. He's human, but he's totally indwelt by the devil. I mean, Satan usually only has parts of people, but boy, this guy, he has them all. And he, the Antichrist, with Satan's power, leads humanity to destruction by becoming their God, okay?